Hello everyone and welcome to another Affinity Designer tutorial. Designer 1.7, the beta, has been out for quite a while now, and it introduced quite a few new features. I made a list of the different features I think I would really enjoy. Now previously I made a video on my 5 desired features I would like in Designer. And now 1.7 has 2 of those features in them, and that is to continue a path from its endpoint with the pencil tool and to redraw vector lines. So now we have both those things in Affinity Designer. So let's make the most of the 1.7 beta. So first off, we see that the layers are now different sizes. You can toggle the different sizes up here for the layer thumbnails. I have it set to medium. A new feature that I love in the 1.7 beta is the transform mode of the node tool. So over here, Katie has extra long sleeves. So I'm going to open up this layer and I want to select one of her sleeves, and I have the origin point set right here. So I'm going to rotate and I'm going to stretch her arm way out. Okay, now we're going to pretend that her hand is right where my cursor is. So right here, I want to have the sleeve come to a stop and then rest and go this way. So to do this, I'm going to uncheck this where it says Edit All Layers. So I'm going to select this object, hold Shift, select this object, and then this one. And now I'm going to take the node tool, and with all those objects selected, I'm going to create a bounding box around the nodes. And now this is the new feature I like. Click this button where it says Transform. And now I'm going to rotate her sleeve and have it stop right here. Now this part of her sleeve comes inward, and I want it to come out a little. So I'm going to take the pencil tool, and this is the new sculpt mode. This is what allows you to continue a path from its endpoint or redraw the path completely. So I'm going to select this, and now I'm going to just do that a little. But look at this. If I were to draw this way, then you'll see that the path gets a little messed up. So you need to draw it in the direction the path is going. And over here, I'm going to just go in, come out a little, and then just draw a little line just like that. And maybe warp this down just a little bit. And now I want the shading, which I have. The shading is a vector object clipped inside the sleeve. This works independently with the nodes on her arm because it's clipped inside the object. So I'm going to hold Shift and select this, and now I'm going to just redraw some of the shading. And I'm going to do the same with her other arm. This is so messed up. I think I'm actually going to have her be holding the rabbit. It's a little scary, but whatever. And if you look at her arm, you see this line right here? Her arm is actually a partially closed path. So I'm going to just take this node here, and I'm going to just bring it up. Oh, and this line is overshooting a little bit. Now say I want to have her hair be blowing. Well, first of all, let me just show you that I have her head in a layer behind and her body layer. So the back hair is another partially closed path. Okay, so say I want to have her hair be blowing. I could do that two ways. I could redraw the path, or I could take the node tool again. Okay, so the image is back to normal now. Let's say I want to edit Katie's leg. So I'm going to select all these objects. Whoop. Okay, and I want to have her leg bend a little. So while all these objects are selected, I'm going to hold Alt, and now I have a lasso tool in which I can select all of the nodes at once. All right, and I'm going to undo that. And there's also another lasso tool. If you hold Alt and just click once, click again, then you have kind of like a polygon lasso tool. Another cool feature in the 1.7 beta is the appearance panel. Now you can create multiple strokes and fills per object. So this is an old concept for an email service I created back in 2011 called Tada. So let's say I want to create this out of vector. First I want to create this blue box, and I want to give it a white outline. So just create a box first, have the stroke be 1, and I want to have this color for the stroke. And I want to use this color for the fill. Okay, and I'm going to just hide this other layer for now. So I'm going to add another stroke. That's easy. Just click here where it says add stroke. And I'm going to have another stroke be white. And then I'm going to send this behind this one. And I'm going to just increase the stroke size. But you're probably thinking, okay, if I'm going to add multiple fills, how would that come handy? Because you won't be able to see fills behind others. Well, here's an example of that. So I'm going to just create a shape, and for the fill, I'm going to have a little bit of a rainbow effect. Okay, so here is an example. Now I'm going to add another fill on top of this. And I'm going to set it to be black. But now it's covering the rainbow layer. But I can also double click this and change the opacity. Now with this object selected, I'm going to take the gradient tool, and this time I'm going to go this direction. I'm going to select this box, and I'm going to bring the opacity down. And we created something similar to this, a little different, but very similar. Another feature in 1.7 beta are now arrowheads, and I previously made a video on an alternative on arrowheads, but now that we actually have it, you no longer need to use that alternative. So the path started here, so over here you can choose the arrow that you want, and then choose the end arrow that you want. And then you can change the sides, or click this key icon to have both sides change at the same time. And over here, choose if you want the arrowheads to start at the end or behind. And then this reverses the arrowheads. So these are just a few examples of what is new in the 1.7 beta. Be sure to check it out on the Affinity forum. Have a good rest of the day.